J.B. Murray is not the type of artist you might learn about in art school. In fact, if you looked at his art or made art like his in art school, you may get some weird looks. His art is the type of art that those really awesome people will walk up to and say, "My kid could make that." And maybe they could. They don't and won't make anything like it, but yeah, sure, maybe they could. And even if they could or did, I bet that artwork wouldn't be compelled by visions of a struggle between good and evil for the souls of humanity. Would it now, little Timmy? John Bunyan Murray was born in 1908 in rural Glasgow County, Georgia. He spent most of his life as a tenant farmer, and like many black Americans in the South, had experienced educational disenfranchisement and never learned to read or write. He attended school for 1 month at the age of 6 and then spent the rest of his life as a farm laborer. In his lifetime, Murray was married, had 11 children, separated from his wife when he was in his 50s, and other than doctor's visits and weekly services at the Mineral Springs Baptist Church, lived in virtual isolation for the remaining 2 decades of his life. A deeply religious man, it wasn't until a spiritual experience in his 70s that Murray began his art-making career. Per the American Folk Art Museum, one day he was watering a patch of potatoes in his garden, and he witnessed the sun descend and radiate prismatic colors through his yard. In a 1986 interview with art historian Judith McWillie, he recalled, "I prayed, and the Lord sent a vision from the sun. The eagle crossed my eye. It shaded the sun. You know, an eagle can see farther than any bird in the world, and that's why that I can see things some more folks can't see." Just as he was first awed by the transformation of the world through the arcing water of a garden hose, he would later interpret his paintings by gazing through a bottle of well water. Quote unquote, "Water saves. You can't hinder water. Water will soak down and come up in another place." For the majority of his life, Murray kept a bottle of what he called holy water on a table by his bedside, which he would raise towards the sky whenever he prayed, which was often. His artwork is best described as an abstract expressionist take on spiritualism. Abstract expressionism similar to a la Jackson Pollock maybe, with smaller canvases and probably fewer cigarettes. Murray's work has been shown among and in many folk art exhibits across the country, and his art is included in the collections of the American Folk Art Museum and the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C. Art historian William Arnett has called Murray's art making one of the most remarkable and unlikely art careers in the Southern vernacular field. His first creations were piles of found materials, rocks, and other debris placed throughout his yard to repel evil that Murray believed loomed over his life. He then began painting car parts, televisions, and other reflective material that he would then affix to his home in another effort to reflect evil and protect his home. It was in the late 70s that his art making really took off, developing his own personal style of unintelligible abstract writing, which he called spirit script, that he inscribed onto his drawings and paintings, which at the end of his career totaled over 2,000. As the American Folk Art Museum notes, his work ranges in materials, including watercolor, crayon, tempera, felt tip pen, and ink, all on paper, stationery, napkins, construction paper, and the exterior and interior walls of his house. The primary colors each had their own symbolic weight, from red for evil to yellow for divine power. He was compelled by his visions of a struggle between good and evil for the souls of humanity. As he said of the tall, spectral, and ghostly figures that fill his art, "Them is the people, what is living like God, don't exist." Murray greatly distrusted people who did not believe in God. In his mind, most people had strayed from the Lord's path and were therefore potentially harmful. He also believed that destructive evil spirits populated the world, and thus much of the artwork he created served as a protective purpose. Get all that, little Timmy? If you knew none of this, you would probably look at Murray's work and think, yeah, a child could make that. If you knew some of this, you may want to purchase one or a few of Murray's works to protect your home from evil spirits. Once J.B. Murray was diagnosed with prostate cancer in the mid-1980s, he began to make work furiously, feeling as though he was running out of time. John Bunyan Murray died at the Memorial Hospital in Washington County, Georgia, on September 18th, 1988. His work, in all its abstract and spiritual glory, can be seen at many museums, galleries, and fairs, and walls of friends across the country.